one, or we can go a little further down 45.
So, so are we going? We're going north, right? So,
Yeah.
But we're going north of 45.
Yes.
There's a so we can go down to 1960 here and make a right now 1960. And there's one just like a minute down.
Perfect. Make a right. Yeah, that's the one on Walters. Perfect.
Yeah.
You got it.
All right. I think that's gonna work. That's gonna fly.
Where did you go?
Where did who go? What? Why?
No, we're talking about the.
Oh. Okay.
What are you gonna do with your dog in at a Dreamhack?
At Dreamhack, I'm gonna take him in.
Huh?
I'm gonna take him
really?
in. Yeah.
Is that a thing that that happens?
Yeah. People take their dogs places.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
Is this to keep the equipment cool mostly?
No. I was just curious what would happen if I hit the auto button.
Yeah.
You don't like the fan going
Pass
at
me that,
full
please?
speed?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. No, actually I don't.
No. Yeah, it's
Pretty
loud.
chilly. It's loud. It's
Yeah.
too cold.
So where are we headed to?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
And then Dallas.
Okay, sounds good. Dallas isn't as far away as I thought it was.
Yeah, Dallas is far.
What were you thinking?
Like 5 hours. That's usually how long the bus takes.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. After that. I can't believe you take the bus, dude.
It is terrible.
You take the bus.
Because I don't have a car since I came back to the U.S. from England.
Right.
So yeah, I haven't bought a car because I didn't know where I'd be living. And I'm just streaming here now.
Right on.
Nope.
Why?
I ran out of beer like 2 months ago. And
A nearby Chick-fil-A, right?
is that a nearby Chick-fil-A?
Oh, well, let's check this out.
Because the Chick-fil-A I was thinking was on 1960.
The other direction?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, maybe that's not it anymore. Maybe we're going to another one.
Maybe
Chick-fil-A.
the best thing is just to go straight to Dallas and then we'll just find one on the way.
That's kind of what I was getting at. I'm actually pretty hungry.
Yeah, sounds good. Did you just wake up or have you been up or?
I've been up.
You've been
I
up.
didn't sleep much. Yeah.
But you sleep like
On and off. Yeah, just like whenever, basically.
oh really?
Yep. Yes, sir. Yeah. So there's one right before we get to the interstate.
Because I just recently ate dinner, but yeah, it's fun.
Recently ate dinner.
Yeah.
It's freaking 9 a.m.
I eat one meal a day. Yeah.
No shit.
That's funny.
I'm so busy.
That's so funny that you eat one meal a day only.
do you eat one meal a day as well?
I was doing that for a while, just like eating dinner only.
I just don't have time. It's just like, well, sometimes what I do is I'm cooking dinner, and while I'm waiting for dinner to cook, oh, careful in the car.
Oh shit, you're right.
Wow, it's just here. I guess this is.
Careful.
I see these people. Oh, are you like a nervous passenger,
I'm a
sir?
good driver.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, dude, I drive. This is my job.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah, I drive. I drive for Favor and DoorDash.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, perfect. All right.
All day.
Perfect.
Every day. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Somebody's gotta drive.
Yeah, I'm the kind of person who usually doesn't trust anyone driving apart from me.
That's fair. I don't like to be a passenger either.
No.
Honestly, I'd rather drive. Like I'll ask, can I drive?
Yeah. Exactly.
I enjoy it.
Like, can I drive? I don't want to die.
Yeah. I'd rather be in charge of my own life. Thank you.
It's a pretty big responsibility.
It really is, dude. I've never actually had more than one person in this vehicle at the same time. So.
Wait, really? You don't pick up?
I don't
Couples
Uber.
are?
Yeah. No.
Oh, I see.
Just food.
We'll see what the
Who
fuck
doesn't care how I
happens.
drive? You know what I mean?
Actually, if you're very mindful about the food, then you can become a really good drifter.
It's hilarious. I never considered that, but
Yeah.
I forget what
Don't
brand
spill
it
the
was.
tofu.
There was a commercial I remember that was like, maybe they had drinks or something, like, and the guy was drifting.
Drifting commercial.
Yeah.
No.
Sure, I mean, like Monster and Red Bull, they had some of those guys doing crazy stunts and whatnot.
I'm just gonna do this
The whole time.
Like always.
So we're online on your stream now.
Yeah, we're
Both.
everywhere.
Both Twitch and YouTube, right?
everywhere.
Twitch, YouTube, Mixer,
Yeah,
well, so
Periscope.
Mixer, fucking Mixer. This,
Oh, yeah,
the channel's been suspended, but this morning I sent an email saying like, "Hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry."
Oh, just apologizing?
Please.
But what did you
I'll
do?
write back. Well, it was actually my housemate. He had his shirt off and his back to the camera, so his like naked torso was visible.
Oh, and that was a no-go?
And that's it. Yeah.
Skin! Oh, hell
Mixer
no.
has Mixer has very clearly defined policies.
Wow.
Yes.
Sometimes on Twitch, some viewers ask me to show my ankle, and I do it.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, you can show ankles on Mixer too. But,
Oh, really?
But like upper body and like breastbone,
Nipple, actually, chest, pectoral.
just this entire, like, this is not kosher.
Pretty weird. That's really weird, actually.
Yeah.
What kind of Magic do you play these days, Ed?
I'm getting big on Arena. I'm playing more Arena than anything else. More recently, I've jumped onto Paper War.
What's Paper War?
War over the Spark.
Paper War the Spark.
Yeah.
It'll be my first time playing Paper this weekend here at War the Spark.
Really?
Yeah.
At all? Really?
Yeah, at all.
What kind of paper have you touched since then? Since
Like,
before that?
recently, the last time was, I think it was actually Guilds of Ravnica.
What?
Pre-release.
Guilds of Ravnica?
Yeah, GRN.
Wow.
And I had the most terrible experience at Dragon's Lair. Yeah.
I shouldn't laugh too hard.
My fucking sorry, is it fine to curse on your stuff? My freaking opponent, he was like,
Friggin'.
you know, every once in a while you get that opponent who's like, oh, I didn't even open up good cards. And freaking every single game, Niv Miz it down on 6, like double Wee Dragonauts.
Yeah. What? Double Wee Dragon?
Yeah, in a sealed pool, man. And I'm like,
yeah, that's a horrible deck, buddy.
And it was the kind of opponent where it was like, the moment I touched my deck to draw for my turn, he's like, is it my turn yet?
Oh, wow.
No, it's not your turn.
Sorry, did I say go? Or,
yeah, like, did I say go? Like,
have I drawn my card? Have I gotten my first main phase? I mean,
exactly.
These are questions you can answer yourself, sir. I hate that too.
Yeah, and so I haven't played Paper Magic since.
It's pretty interesting. I don't want to say publicly too many bad things about that spot, but it's not my favorite spot.
What's your spot these days?
We actually just passed Beyond the Dungeon.
Okay.
I'm a fan of that spot.
Is that a new place?
It's new. It's new as of 2017.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they've been open a year.
That's very new for me then.
Right.
Because obviously, last time I was here was when Bad Wolf was still a thing.
Yep.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
That was fun. It was like a little shithole, but
A little hole in the wall.
Yeah, a little hole in the
Literally,
wall.
it was just like narrow, almost nothing in there.
yeah, it was fun.
But yeah, great people.
Yeah, it was fun. And I think that's kind of the thing. It's like, once you find that really, really cool local game store, you find those people you like to hang around with, once you lose that, and you like go to another game store, and you're like, wow, this is not the same.
This is not it, yeah.
And that's kind of why I quit Magic when I moved to England. I was like, well, 2 reasons. First of all, I was whooping all their asses, and I was like, there's no competition here!
This isn't fun.
I'm at the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
It's cold up here and lonely. And so I quit that, and then went to Hearthstone. So.
Electronic, and then dominated Hearthstone, right?
Yeah. Ed, how long have you been watching my streams, sir?
An understanding of particle physics.
Not that long, that's what I'm saying. I knew that you play. I didn't know that you streamed.
Yeah, that's
I had no idea.
Like, the streams are popping off.
Yeah, I can tell.
It's crazy.
Let's see those numbers.
Yeah, let's see these numbers. I mean,
Fucking Social Blade.
my follower numbers are not that great, but my viewership is
The viewer, man's had 800 last night.
Shit, that is pretty impressive.
Like, usually I'm around like 800 to 1,000 viewers without any hosts.
Right.
That's wild.
Streamed for 56. Okay, so Twitch metrics caught you for 56 hours in the last 7, averaging 877.
877, damn. That's
Averaging.
Yeah, that's crazy, because I didn't look at my stats. Because before I was streaming, I mean, I've streamed for a long time, years and years, for like sometimes like a good day is 25 viewers, you know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And I'm like, holy shit, 25 viewers? Damn, I'm fucking
like
ninja. You know?
Ninja.
Yeah, it feels good. Yeah.
And that's crazy. Sometimes I look over and like the numbers don't even feel real. I'm just like, oh, all right, that says like 1.2K.
Right.
Who's viewbotting me?
No joke. Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of money.
Are you all real? Somebody say something. You know?
Exactly.
Do you have all the alerts set up so it's just going off while you play?
Yeah. I have all alerts off, and I do like a bunch of cheesy stuff for subs and stuff.
Oh, I meant if your alerts were on while you played, so it's just constantly.
Oh.
It's time to do
Yeah.
Yeah, that tickled me when I first saw it. You have different hats, like different hair and whatnot.
Like the different characters on the show. Because recently I went back and watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, and man, you really appreciate it so much more when you're an adult and that, like you've actually played card games and stuff. Yeah.
Well, why is that? I've actually never gotten into Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, really?
I had no desire whatsoever.
Honestly, I think if you ever are just bored one night, I think you should just throw up some Yu-Gi-Oh! It's
You recommend it?
Yeah, highly recommend it. It's so funny because like it's so serious, and
like the show or the card game itself.
Like the show, yeah, the show.
Okay.
While like ridiculous things are happening, like people are top decking like left and right.
Yeah.
People are like missing triggers. People are like missing card effects.
In the show, really?
Yeah. People are like, wait, that card does that?
Oh, I didn't know.
Exactly. But you play War of the Spark, right?
Yeah.
It's like Narset triggers. Like I miss Narset so often. Like I try to draw cards, but they have a Narset on the board.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that all the time in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's hilarious.
That's kind of funny. That's actually really humorous.
It is so good. Honestly, it's like a masterpiece. And then there's a second season. Well, there's like a lot of seasons now, but there's a second season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Called Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
Okay.
And they're all at dueling academies.
Oh, that's what the academy you're talking about, the scholarships.
Exactly. So it's like, it's like a fucking dueling academy, and they can get like a PhD in dueling.
Okay.
It is so funny. It's the dumbest thing ever.
It sounds extra wrong.
Yeah.
Yo, do you have Chick-fil-A app?
I do.
Yeah, you should.
Of course.
You should totally hit it because if you're anytime loyalty is rewarded.
Yes, sir. Are we going in? Do we want to go in?
I prefer eat inside, but
okay.
What do you guys think?
Let's eat inside.
You guys have a doggo as well.
It's okay.
He's good.
Okay.
Doggo is amazing. He'll do all the things.
We're straight.
If you really wish to eat inside, yes. I mean, it's your car. You normally eat in your car?
Of course. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
I don't like to actually leave my car.
I mean,
I'm like the opposite. I'm like Vincent in my car.
Interesting.
So yeah, like the opposite. Actually.
Same thing.
Hey, what's up? Look at it. Look at that. What?
Watch out. Watch out. Watch out.
You can't pay for this stuff. You can't script it.
No, you can't. It's real life. It's messy. All right, so I'm going to.
Pretty hypoallergenic. I feel fine.
You straight?
Yeah.
I love it. I thought it was gonna be a problem. I was like, I didn't say that he was gonna have his dog. I actually didn't know until last night. I was like, oh shit, you're bringing Paul?
Here, I will. I'll
Is that
walk
really
up.
gonna work though?
Yeah.
Just like, hey, hello, welcome to Dreamhack.
Civil service. Can I help with something? Anything?
If you want to take the. Oh yeah, I brought this. I fucking got everything going today. I'm so happy. So far, we're off to a brilliant start. We're pushing at 4 megabits per second straight off the phone. I don't care for all the fanciness right now.
I'm a little worried about time.
Yeah, if you want to take this.
I'm not worried about time either.
You want to hold on to this? All right.
And I was just like, did Ed forget me?
No.
Or did Ed like fall asleep?
So I was trying to text you, right? I might not have the right number.
No. My phone service is not working.
What's up with that?
Because I just bought a Google 3A.
Okay.
Basically like the new Google phone.
Yeah.
And like something messed up with the SIM trying to switch it over.
Okay.
So I basically just need to get a new SIM card. It's not working.
Interesting.
So in Dallas, I'm gonna Uber over to like a Sprint store.
I was gonna say, like, how can you even? How are you gonna operate in another city?
Or maybe depending on the route we take, maybe if you guys don't mind, we can stop by one.
That's possible.
All right, I'm ready to take it back from you.
Are you?
Yeah.
Please do.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Who's your provider?
They're... I mean, I'm
Dude, you should put in that mobile order. If you wanna, I mean, or you don't have to put in a mobile order. I mean, you could. It might even be faster. So there is a line. Yo, get the good stuff. Hello. Hey.
Tops out.
Huh?
Tops out.
Hey, dummy, can you sit?
I get egg and
Yeah,
cheese
good.
biscuit. You guys get whatever you want.
Egg and cheese biscuit. That sounds pretty good.
Good morning, cousin.
David.
Chick-fil-A knows who I am.
Yeah, of course they know who you are. They would like to know even more about you.
What does custom mean?
Doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't
Not
mean
yet.
anything. Like you're not like.
Apparently,
we barely headed out. We're just getting started.
Oh wow! So that's where you're into.
Probably not going to be there until like maybe 1:30.
I deserve that. I thought I made it up.
We'll see. I'm with
And keep your
Cussa
accent.
and that's
That's what we're doing around here.
oh yeah, and
Like,
you said yes, that's good. I know this place smells great, huh? It's Chick-fil-A.
So I can my order.
What are you having?
Menu. I think I want to do the number 4, but a burrito.
so how does it work? So are we all ordering on this thing or?
Yeah, just like push through here and or something. I don't know, or you could just like take a picture of the receipt later.
Yeah.
You know, but absolutely.
Well, they can scan.
Absolutely.
Oh really? So you can scan the receipt after, you mean?
Yeah, you
You
can.
have to call. You have to call for the receipt.
No way.
Yeah, it's really
That sounds super annoying.
it's really annoying. Like I can't even use that.
That fucking sucks, dude.
But this one's easier because usually they don't have egg and cheese biscuit
Oh, yeah.
as an option.
I see.
Yeah, like on apps and stuff. So it's always like, oh, you have to get something to like take it away kind of thing.
Ah, that's really interesting. Custom, man. Okay, I'm here for the basic good stuff. I mean, I guess they serve everything all day.
Sure. No.
That's awesome.
Not breakfast.
Hey, come here.
They don't serve breakfast.
Oh yeah, because that's served until 10:30. So the special thing at breakfast is that's what you don't get any other time.
I'm a fan of the bagel.
The bagel. Oh, or the bagel.
Yeah. Is that a classic?
I mean, you got the original Chick-fil-A biscuit. Can't go wrong with that. Yeah.
These are tight. Is that your usual? Is that your usual?
I just like the chicken.
I hear you.
Hey, no. David. David, it's not what you do. Come here. Yo. Hello, street past me. Leave it.
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
Number 1, entree only, just the sandwich.
Just sandwich?
Yes.
Anything else?
No.
Yeah. Can I get a... Yeah, he's not getting anything. Can I get 2 egg and cheese biscuits, please?
2 egg and cheese?
Yeah, with I guess just some Chick-fil-A sauce. And sorry, and can you make one of those meal, please? The egg and cheese biscuit meal.
Did you want to drink?
Lemonade, please.
Anything else to get for?
I think that'll be all, yeah.
Okay. 17.45.
Okay, that's it.
Vincent. Are you lost? That's
Did we already pay?
Oh,
That's too late. It's okay.
You're still able to scan it.
I can
okay,
scan
you
it
can just
here.
scan it. You don't need to make a phone call.
Website. Sorry, no problem. What do you
Give
think
me
the
1
order?
second.
Oh boy, he's too cute.
We're gonna pick up here.
Was it for carryout? Or
no, it's here, so they'll just find us.
They'll find us. All right. All right. I don't know what we're doing. I'm just standing here. I'm being in the way.
Are you guys new? You're new to Chick-fil-A?
No.
So, you know,
I don't get to go anywhere.
Chick-fil-A opens.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So,
You went as well? Like 6 or 7.
Yo boy. Yo boy. Yeah, I did see that. I did see that. No, dummy. You see, look at how dumb dogs are. He sorted it out. Yes. I am being very in the way. I will sit on an end. I don't know. It's all the same, man. Hey, dog. Paul. Can you sit there? Sit. No, that's cool. I will sit right here. What? It's good, man. Wait, you want to relocate?
Vince is here.
Yeah, why do you want to relocate? Yeah, you were fine. You're fine. You're fine. You took this space. It's fine. I was just trying to get Paul to sit, and I want to leave a little bit of space, you know, because space is important. This is like the great luxury of being in America is we get elbow room, especially here in Texas.
It's a very small table. We have one of the smaller tables in
You could
fact.
take that big table if you wanted it. You could just all like take a corner.
Well, maybe we should relocate to them.
Hey, I don't know who chose this, but I'm not complaining.
Okay.
I am perfectly at ease.
what happened?
Ain't nothing.
Ain't
Life
nothing.
is good, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Poison my drink.
Of course.
Hey, so I saw that you studied out of the country.
Yes.
Is this only for college and university?
Yeah, for both my undergrad and my master's.
Yeah. In the UK.
It was interesting. I was basically going to university while like competing in esports, like in Hearthstone. Card game esports. What a world.
Yeah.
World.
Hard gaming?
Hearthstone? Do you know Hearthstone?
Yes. I mean, I was wondering what the word was that you used. You said something hard gaming?
Oh, it was like a
Card gaming.
Card gaming. Oh.
card game esports, yeah.
Okay.
So like card games is like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's like hard to think about that as like an esport kind of thing.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, dude, like Pokemon cards freaking blew up when we were kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you a baby of the 80s or early 90s?
Early 90s, yeah.
Right on, yeah. You have siblings?
I do have siblings, 2 younger twin brothers. Not twins with me, because that would make me a triplet.
Right.
and
They
be
are
the same age, in fact. So,
Yes,
they would,
exactly.
Unless
But-
they were like minutes ahead of you.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing about twins is that usually one comes out first, right?
True.
So the other one's younger.
Yeah. One's
I'll give
got
it
to
to you.
lead the charge.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like babies are like avocados or something, right? You know, like the sooner that avocados get exposed to air, like the sooner they
It's gonna start browning, right?
browning or oxidizing, whatever.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like the moment you touch the air, you're like,
You're done. Yeah.
Start.
What do they call that? Devalue? As soon as you drive it off the lot.
Yeah. They have a shelf life. Very cool. Dude, I noticed that you were paying with the PayPal debit card.
Yeah.
Use credit?
all of my money is in PayPal, basically.
Yeah. You use credit?
I don't use credit right now. I just opened up a
Shit.
I just opened up a bank account today, actually.
Oh, damn. So then you just been like banking through PayPal?
Yeah,
Thank you.
just
That's
PayPal.
crazy. That's crazy.
PayPal is like the universal kind of under the table.
Man.
Chicken
I
biscuits
mean, I guess.
Chicken, egg and biscuit, chicken.
You guys.
There's no way this is a chicken burrito.
This is a chicken burrito.
Yeah.
Yes, why does it say
That's
chicken
you,
burrito?
man.
But that's with yours?
Mislabeled.
Yeah, I'll take it.
No, it's
then-
mislabeled. Those are both you.
Who, did you get two?
Yeah, I got two.
Yeah, those are both you.
But this is a chicken burrito?
No, this is definitely the chicken burrito.
You gotta look at the format.
I know, I know the shape is not a burrito shape.
Look, you could show it so it's like you're not crazy.
All right.
It's clearly that is clearly a chicken
Looks like a
burrito.
I mean, this is a chicken burrito too, right?
Which one's a chicken burrito?
It's a chicken burrito? Oh, it's not.
No.
Surprise.
You don't actually know until you open it.
No, you're right. You're right.
Gotta be sure. You're making the assumptions.
It could be like a weirdly mashed burrito.
Yeah, just based on the title or the label here, rather.
Yeah.
Is the jalapeno salsa something that you
It's
guys
delicious.
ordered? Is that what you guys?
It comes with
ordered?
mine.
Oh, that's you.
Yes.
Okay. I think that people have these things with jam.
Yeah, typically, I don't understand.
That's the thing.
I got strawberry jam.
Sweet and savory is
You
where
weirdo.
these are really good.
Yeah.
Sweet and savory is
I
a
love
really
it.
good
I don't want to
combination.
hear that. I do want to get some napkins for you, jokers.
Pineapple and onions.
More napkin?
Pizza, huh?
Pineapple pizza?
Yeah, some napkin.
Anything else?
Will you consume this?
I will consider it, but you want one?
It's good.
You want one?
Yeah.
Here, you take it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Let me grab one here.
All right. I scared everybody away. This is the winning combination. Otherwise, it's just salt. It's just savory. But once you hit it with the sweetness,
I'm going over here. Excuse me, sir.
I like that nobody has said anything.
Why would you?
Maybe it's just because. Okay, so, dude, certain places you go. Paul.
Wait, your dog's name is Paul?
Yeah, his name is Paul.
A human name.
Yes, this is a people name. It's a great name though. It's also a very Christian name.
Oh, wow.
Saul, Paul.
Saul, Paul. Yeah, I mean Paul. Yeah, he's an apostle. Yeah, some places I go to and people are very, very like, sir, you can't have a dog here. You know,
Interesting.
and then I have to do like, well, actually, and then just kind of keep running with it.
Per this document.
This actually says, go bug somebody else, not me.
And then, of course, they chill out for a while and realize he's not going to harm or do anything, you know?
Right. I mean, he just sits there. I think I got oil all over my glasses. My right lens.
Yeah.
It's good for you.
Where'd the oil come from? Like, from the chicken? Wow. She's a squirter. Cool, so you used to open it up?
Yeah. As opposed to, like, biting
Yeah.
in and... Yeah. I guess I'm weird like that.
Interesting.
Is that like, that's like basically anarchy. You know that, right? Like, down with the man.
Splitting open the burrito.
Fuck the structure.
Whoa, sir, what are you doing?
Very interesting. Like, analyze normalizing how people consume their foods.
I was super judgmental with this sweet and savory deal, right?
Well, yeah, which I don't understand because like if you have just straight savory, it gets pretty stale.
No,
Yeah.
no, that's what I want. Like some truffles.
Why do people dip their French fries in ketchup? Why wouldn't they just eat them plain?
Okay, so you're saying that ketchup is the sweet to the fries savory.
Sweet, yeah. And the acidity.
Acidity and a little bit of like liquid was what I'm going for. Like some.
It doesn't have
Some
to be
moisture.
wet, man. You could
Some
put like
moisture.
freaking honey with French fries, and it would still make it more interesting.
It's a viscous
Because,
thing.
like,
It's not like
honey,
a solid,
honey and freaking like chili flakes. It would be more interesting. Or like garlic.
I don't know if that would be tasty though.
I mean, it might be good. It might be good. It might be the
Honey
next
and garlic?
thing.
Honey and garlic.
Yeah. Like,
No, you gotta
like
sell
super
this.
safe.
Oh, you're broadcasting. Nobody take that.
Wait, take what?
honey garlic.
You mean that idea? Got a patent it?
Who's doing it? Who else is doing honey garlic? Nobody, because it's ass. You joking? Nobody's doing that.
Doubting custom.
I don't know.
It's like, there's a reason why we don't have edible hats. You know? Not a good idea.
There's edible underwear. Why not edible hats?
The context is all wrong. Like, why? Why?
I really like your hat.
Do you? Try it. I'm glad you mentioned it.
Sure, your fedora. It looks like a snack.
Terrible idea after all.
Oh my god. Seasoned with my lice, you know.
We have an actual question from the spicy avocado who asks, "What's Dreamhack?" I'm not qualified to answer.
It's like, you know how you like play video games inside your house? And it's like that, but you do it in someone else's house.
A really big house.
It's a really big house.
With a whole bunch of people, other people.
Yeah, and there's like all these people sharing their germs and stuff.
It's great. Recycled air. It's so awesome.
So there's a LAN party to it.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big deal. You can bring your own computer.
Yeah.
And somebody's sponsoring computing stations too.
What are computing stations? Computing stations is
Computing.
oh.
Like where you can use their computer, use their rig. Right?
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, yeah. Basically, I'll be streaming on like their streaming stuff.
Is it usually like top quality good stuff?
Yeah.
I can't imagine why not. But, you know.
Yeah, we have like this Apple from 1980.
The all-in-one. You
Yeah,
know?
the all-in-one.
the box, you know.
I
Like
used
5
to
years
play-
ago, man.
Do you guys remember those games in school when they would like give you basically like a promo CD or something? And you would go home and play it, and then you if you want to buy it, like you can buy it,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Oh, those games are so fun. I definitely play those on those computers.
I'm a fan. I was doing the same.
But the thing is that I was a born gamer, so I came home, I beat that shit. Went back, didn't buy it.
You said you didn't buy it. I wish it was me. If nobody else claims it, please come back.
Sorry, I just saw myself.
It's okay, you did.
Hi.
A bunch of other people did too.
You have to be good or else we can't have you.
You gotta act right.
Y'all are missing a large
Like
vanilla
I
ice.
said, if nobody else claims it, it's definitely
Okay,
me.
I got
right?
you.
Not yet. Here.
Good.
I know, it's women's.
How many Dreamhacks have you been to?
That's a good question. Maybe like a dozen?
A dozen.
Yeah, because I competed a lot in Hearthstone. I've been to Dreamhack summer and winter in Sweden. I think 6 times. I've been to Dreamhack Valencia in Spain.
Okay.
I've been to Dreamhack Austin 3 times.
That's where I was.
Yeah.
They had them before the. Okay, so obviously last year, the year before, was the first 2 that I went to.
Oh,
They had to be before that. They had to be twice, man. They had to be twice.
Were there any Dreamhacks in Texas before that? Or
I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Austin is kind of a hub.
Do you know why they moved it to Dallas?
I don't know actually.
Dude, I think there's something in Austin right now. Because I was searching on YouTube and I saw there's like a Rainbow Six Siege stuff that was streamed 12 hours ago.
Really?
Austin.
In Austin?
Austin. Dreamhack Austin. That
I
was
wonder
the
why they
keywords I
wouldn't.
searched
I
for.
wonder why it wouldn't be in Dreamhack.
I don't know. I mean, but this was through like the Dreamhack channel or Rainbow Six Siege channel.
Yeah.
So it's official shit.
Okay.
I don't know what the deal is.
It's very strange.
I'm gonna get some water.
Do that.
Oh, you're coming with me. Yo.
What's up, Street Pass Me? Street Pass Me? Stiggs? No, we're still in H-Town. I don't know if he answered that, Stiggs. No, I rag on the sweet and savory thing. It's fire. It's fire. I don't know why I'm hating.
I won't tell him.
Thank you.
Definitely feel you. It's all about like the contrast of flavors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's why like I don't know, like salted caramel wasn't a thing a while back, right? Like it wasn't a thing. I don't think
that it was maybe
like
10,
mainstream
15.
thing.
Yeah, no, 10, 15 years ago, no.
It wasn't mainstream. But now with salted caramel, well, why would you put salt on that? And why does it taste amazing? Wow. Does it make sense? Nope.
I think I'll mix it in my ice cream. Ding, you know, yeah.
See, the thing is that when I was a kid, I used to put salt on my ice cream, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I basically created salted ice cream.
I feel like as long as there's been Wendy's, there's been people dipping Wendy's fries in their frosties, so, you know.
Yeah, it's true. And there's like some salt in it anyway.
Yeah. I think that's when I was first introduced to it. And again, it was fire. So.
It's fire. I mean, it still sounds nasty, but it's like, it's probably fire, yeah.
Come to think, I'm pretty sure my parents made me eat it, you know what I mean? Like,
Whoa.
try it!
You're like, try it?
Yeah.
Like dip it in frosting?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Of course, I'm like, I don't want to!
That's like euthanasia, man.
Youth in Asia?
Euthanasia, yeah. Crazy over there.
Yeah.
All them Diddy destined.
Do. Okay. This is unbelievable. It is a really crazy world where one can make his or her way broadcasting themselves live.
Never would have expected it, and I definitely would not have expected coming back to Magic. Like, I quit Magic so many times,
Yeah.
legitimately. Like, I never want to play this game ever again. You know, I'm done with lands.
That's hard to believe. Done with lands.
I'm done with mana.
Oh, I see what I just give me gems. Give me one a turn.
Yeah, exactly. Like, screw this.
I'm max at 10 and I'm set.
Like, what's the point of calling a game when I don't get to play? Never go to a gaming convention. Wow.
I was thinking. I never thought I would be caught up in that either. But I'm not good. I'm not good at video games, first of all. So I solely rely on like a personality. And I say that like I'm some kind of big shot, like I'm a Death Sea. Of course, I'm not. But that's what brings me to it. You know, like people like the community. And somebody asked me too, like, you know, what kind of community do these people get into? Like partners, essentially. They have to have their own thing, right? They're not worried about, you know, like a Texas group or anything like that, right? What is your take on that? Can I ask?
Yeah, but I guess like clarify what you mean by partners and groups.
Okay, so somebody partnered with Twitch, for instance, with tens of thousands of followers. For instance.
Okay.
Is there a market or a niche for you to have a community or be a part of a community like a Houston group, a Houston stream group or something like
okay,
that?
I see. I guess there's some aspects of that, and I guess like correct me if it's not what you're asking.
Okay.
But like some things are very important, like streaming in English, for example. Like English, that's in a way that's kind of like a community, that's kind of like a niche. I mean, it sounds kind of weird because like kind of everyone speaks English.
But not.
But the thing is that for people in smaller countries, it's actually more advantageous, especially as a newer streamer, to stream in your native language or like in your home language.
Okay.
Because there's less competition in that sense. And then for me, it's like I kind of have a small community in the sense that I only play limited. But when it comes to like physical spaces and stuff, I don't think that that's really something that is focused on like in this day and age of gaming.
Okay.
So like, for example, if you ever wanted to start like some Houston thing, I don't think it would work.
No, I'm not saying that you should start it. I imagine there's plenty of groups that you could join. You know what I'm saying? For instance. But my take is, excuse me.
Hello, midfield giant. Hi.
There's really no need for you to. Right?
Yeah. There's no need for you to. It's almost like fishing in a pond compared to like going out into the ocean to find something to fish.
Sure.
Like a lot of times, you know, you might go out to the ocean and it's so vast, it's hard to find like exactly what you're looking for. But like fishing in the pond, you're really never gonna get anything.
Yeah.
You know?
Nothing's massive.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not going to land a whale in a pond.
Exactly.
They don't live there.
I like that. Definitely not.
They might.
One might get placed there, you know. We gotta
Right.
set it up.
Just like this
Free
burrito.
Willy.
I'll be back in one.
Oh God.
What is that? Is that like a hash brown ring?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
It's a hash round.
Nice. That's cool. Does it have hash? Is it made with hash?
Oh man, I wish. Dude, I wish.
Hash oil? Oh my god,
Fried
can you
hash
imagine?
oil? Yo, let's get it. Another great idea. We should be writing this down.
They gotta cover up the fry station, otherwise it's just like you go in and you don't come back out of there.
What happened to the fry cook? I think he fell in. I don't know.
Like a huffing thing.
Yeah. He's in the corner. All the hash rounds are brown, like completely dark.
What are you doing? You're not supposed to turn it up that high.
I couldn't help it, man. I couldn't help it, man. No, I've never seen a Chick-fil-A where they had the lemonade and the tea out, you know? Did you happen to pass by it over there?
I guess they just trust everybody here.
Yeah.
It's Southern hospitality.
I think that's the problem. The tea wasn't even covered.
Oh, that's not cool.
Yeah.
Dude, somebody needs to, you need to write in and then they'll compliment
Why are you doing that? Don't do that.
Look, you got the flower in front of you
perfect.
anyways.
Yeah, good deal.
Alright, it's great. It's just to let you know, it's
me,
context.
flower person.
Context is really important.
Excuse me. Vince, are we ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's do
Are
it.
you ready?
Yes. Is this a smoke Nord?
Yeah, a smock. No, or there you go. Smock.
Smoke.
So I'll probably have the rest of this on the way.
I don't know either.
I'm actually going to take these.
What type of flavor do you put in yours?
I have
Strawberry and
this
cream?
is actually lychee.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I'm gonna take these to not get sick at events.
Do it, man.
Smart. It's actually really smart.
Freaking keep some rubbing alcohol on you. Just, like sanitize all the surfaces.
Terrible idea.
Just like take a few shots every once in a while.
Yeah. No, the ethanol will kill you. Wait.
Ethanol will kill you?
Ethanol, yeah. Straight ethanol, yeah. It's not good. You don't want that. It's like, it's too aggressive. It'll freaking tear you up. Oh yeah, let me grab this.
Just leave it there.
On with the day, we gotta go. We got places to go. Dude, this little girl was kind of scared of Paul. Where is he? He's so small, I can't even capture him in the frame. Paul, hey, leave it! He's way down there. Okay. Big time. Come on. Hold on. 360.
Sorry.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
You too.
Thank you.
Hey, whoa. Whoa. Who even needs hands, man?
I wish I had a third hand.
I know. I complain about this, and then I realize I should be grateful I have the two.
Yeah, that's true. I'm like, why can't I have 3 or 4 arms?
8. Just like, go big.
Exactly.
I want 4 times the effectiveness of the next guy.
Basically, more is better, right? I'm pretty sure.
I mean, to a point. Like, eventually it just gets to be too much. It's taxing.
Like, you mean like 17? 17 would be a lot.
17's a weird number.
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be like one in the back, kind of like a
The overarm.
Like, you know, like kind of hold your face like this.
Bye-bye. It's so quiet. It's so quiet.
How's a live streaming been? How's like phone service and everything?
Phone service. Dude, this thing doesn't even have a SIM card.
Is this the 3A?
This is not the 3A.
Pixel?
It's the original 3 XL.
The original 3?
Yeah.
I just bought a 3A. A 3A actually.
Right on, man.
I need to go to the Sprint store though to activate it, I guess.
I see. So
Yeah.
the real benefit here is the wide angle lens for doing this.
So it's two cameras, is it?
Yeah. So wide angle and then like a regular.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then on the back, it's the same as on the 3A.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wide angle is really nice. It's really good.
It helps. It's like one less thing that you have to clip onto your kit. Which I like. Light is good.
I did IRL streaming one time on my channel.
Yeah.
My channel just died.
People weren't interested.
Yeah,
Fuck this.
Yeah, they were like, "What? This is a Magic the Gathering," and it took like a month for my stream to recover. Yeah.
It was that bad.
Yeah, it was that bad. Like, I shoot one day of IRL, and my viewership just plummeted. My average viewership, and I was like,
Did you have regulars coming in like, "Fuck you! I hate what you become"?
no, like obviously not. Like, no one said anything bad at all. But
Okay.
people were probably just like, "Oh yeah, well, he's not streaming what I want to watch him stream." You know what I mean?
Maybe he won't do it again for another month.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're like, "Oh
Yeah.
yeah." Viewers like, you know, they just burn their photos of you. You'll leave for one day.
Dude, my setup is so fucking so janky, but I think everybody's is, unless they've dropped mad money on this game.
They're all gonna leave me. You know, one day off.
4 megabits per second. Let's go. All right. Let me put this down first. Hua, hua. Priorities, man. We gotta freaking prioritize with all of this stuff. Paul, come on. You gotta load up. Actually, wait. You wait there. You wait there. You're a good dog. You're a good dog, and I love you. I'm not gonna abandon you. Freaking, come here. Oh my God, you're gonna choke to death. Don't choke to death. You're fine.
So is it wrong of me? Like every time I go in Chick-fil-A, I just like load up on these? No?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so either.
Clearly.
I mean, if they're important to you, I suppose you do it, you know?
Well, I mean, it saves me from getting like a whole container of them.
I mean,
Grocery store.
I guess. But have you heard of bulletproof coffee?
Bulletproof coffee.
Can I sell you some medium chain triglyceride oil?
Oh boy. I mean, I'm not opposed to this, honestly, but
Fuck yeah.
yeah, I know.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Deathsea.
Yeah.
How important do you feel is auto hosting?
How important?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I feel like it's not that important. I feel like overall, people are always talking about like collaborations and stuff like that as like a kind of like a way to jumpstart a stream or a way to like basically like a life hack. You know, they're like, oh yeah, of course, if you want to be big on Instagram, you have to do collaborations and stuff. As if it's like, as if there's some big person who just shouts you out once, like, and you've made it,
Right.
kind of thing.
Right.
I find that all of that stuff, auto hosting, collaborations, all of those are still a very, very small part, as valuable as they are.
Yeah.
Like people still have to put in like the bulk of the work themselves.
For sure, man.
Like all that together is probably less than 5%, I think. But yeah, like.
Morning, Monica.
Hi,
Monica.
Monica.
So, okay, couple of things. One, I'm curious to see that Pixel 3a because I have not actually seen one. I think it's probably the same as this.
I wonder if...
There's no pass-through? Oh well, that's okay. And then secondly, I'm wondering...
Oh, we got a gasoline!
Who are you hosting on your channel right now?
Who's on my channel right now?
Yeah.
That is very interesting. Probably just like one of my teammates or something.
From Tempo Storm?
Yeah, Tempo Storm.
Yeah.
But, you want me to send you a host?
Dude, that's entirely... I leave it up to you.
Okay.
Entirely.
Okay, the problem here is that I don't...
Yeah.
My phone is not working. I don't have data.
Here, let me join you over to my hotspot.
Yeah.
Actually, let me use this as the hotspot, just because I so do not trust my own shit.
Can you pop the trunk as well, Ed?
Of course.
Well, let me grab that phone.
Fuck yeah, we'll get a look at a phone. We got this thing. Alright.
Shameless, man. My dog is shameless.
Gonna fucking ask, man. Ask and you shall receive. Oh, I love you. You're a good dog. And I feel like we can do better here. This is too much of me. I don't...
I mean, I think it's fine.
I wanna get it a little more centered because we have the capability. We've got this like massive canvas. You know. Oh shit.
So,
you got the 3.8 XL.
yeah, 3 XL here.
Big or go home.
Yeah.
Did you check out all of the enclosures?
I don't really know too much about phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
You put on a screen protector already,
nope,
though, huh?
it's not a screen protector.
No?
It's just a little plastic thing that comes with it.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay, so the cool thing about this one is it's got the headphone jack.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Like, that's I think the big thing.
Because people said the headphone jack's back.
Yeah. That's a big deal because, you know, there's always a group of people that really, really cares about the headphone jack.
Yeah, that's interesting, for sure.
But you haven't taken... I mean, at least you took the charger out, right?
Yeah, I took the charger out. I tried to put my SIM card into that phone, but apparently I need a new SIM card. So I need to go to the Sprint store, and I was just planning on Ubering there. Like,
you can't use you didn't do it through Google Fi? Because
I mean it should be able to, right?
I think you should check out Google Fi.
So
I can try referring you over there.
How does that work?
And you'll get $20 credit, and I'll get 20 credit.
I just don't need a SIM card kind of thing.
Yeah, but first let me get you joined onto my hotspot, my phone.
I mean, you can see firsthand basically, like the effectiveness of auto hosting.
That would be. I'm really curious because you actually get viewership, whereas my channel is like, it's a very funny, weird little place. It's a very quiet place, and it's okay.
Yeah.
It lets me freak out about technical issues.
That's very normal. Okay.
So you're gonna find my iPhone 8 Plus.
Okay, I see it.
Yeah, and I will. Oh, actually, here. You see the password right there.
Okay.
I agree. We will drive safely. Custa will drive safely.
Stop agreeing with my car.
What's up?
Stop agreeing with my car.
Okay, I'm not gonna break your car. I'll break it. I'll probably break it.
Alright, let's see here.
Yeah. Let me. Actually, yeah. Since you have that, do you use Facebook Messenger on your phone?
I do, yes.
Oh, you actually do. Interesting.
I do.
Do you like it? Do you like the app?
Not really, but the thing is that there's a lot of people who I can only contact on there.
Oh, I see. How do you feel about Discord?
How do you feel about Discord? I recently got a Discord partnership.
Nice.
And, it's pretty cool, I guess, but again, all of my social media, it's to contact different people.
Right. Yeah, you need to go where your people are, as opposed to just like, hey, you need to be on this platform if you want to reach out to me.
Exactly. So, like, basically for all my viewers and stuff, Discord's the best place. When it comes to family and, like, childhood friends, Facebook Messenger.
Right.
Twitter is more of, like, when it comes to, like, peers and other streamers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
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 Everything's segregated, basically.
Absolutely. Gotta find the right place, the right channels. I'm gonna send you some stuff then. Since you have Facebook Messenger,
Okay.
it's easy just to send you stuff through here. You should check out Fi.
I'm also trying to figure out here how to post someone on my phone. How do I do this?
I think you go to your chat and you can use /
Oh, you're
host.
right. I used to do my chat. You're right.
Yeah.
Ah, right.
Do I not have my Fi thing here? I'm gonna find it.
So it's just yetieater like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, what number are we at right now? We're currently at. Is it at 4?
I don't even know.
So-
I don't have a viewer count.
Can we
here.
check? Oh, you don't have that?
I guess we could try to see if there's an overlay. I mean, it may be possible to add a viewer count. Add a widget, a viewer count. Yeah, why not just like put one as a...
I just see myself. Oh no. Okay. So we're currently at 5, and we'll see. Basically.
If there's any change, yeah,
if
I
there's
see
any
Twitch
change.
5.
Basically, yeah. Like in my experience, auto hosts and stuff, they help a little bit, but it's more of like it helps over time because sometimes
Yeah.
people they go onto my channel, and there is offline traffic,
Right,
and then they're like, oh, well, this person's on. I'll go check him out. But
right.
there's not much of like an immediate payoff.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's about like consistently, hey, when I get offline, this guy is on, and the channel just automatically hosts if I don't choose to raid somebody.
Yeah, sure.
But raids are kind of a big deal, I think.
Yeah, raids are a big deal, but depending on the type of streamer, even if you're playing the same game, the stickiness, I guess I would call, of the viewers varies a lot. So like,
Yep.
some viewers will resonate a lot more with like certain channels, especially if they're like similar type of channel, than others. So like sometimes even a smaller raid will be more valuable than like a big raid.
Right. It's a networking game.
Yeah, it's basically
But there's I think a big component of it is also building up goodwill with other people.
like with
Yes, get in there.
other streamers.
Oh shit.
Like with other streamers or other viewers.
Streamers. Because viewers, unless they also stream, like you're not gonna raid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's there is a big aspect of that. For example, like my channel was greatly influenced by some of these like top level Magic the Gathering professionals.
Mm-hmm.
So like Ed knows who Ben Stark is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like without Ben Stark, basically, I don't think my channel would be where it is right now because Ben basically like he like completely endorsed with all of his soul my stream, and he was like, yeah, I love this guy. I love like what he brings to Limited, and I love like the way that he plays the game. I love his personality, and you guys should all go watch him. And you know, followed by that, he provided like a ton of hosts for our channel, and that was insanely valuable.
Yeah.
But I would say that most of the time, hosts and stuff, yeah, they're kind of valuable, but more than the viewership itself is that you're making, I guess, you're building a relationship with the other streamer himself, like more so than the viewers.
Sure.
So it's like even if you get rated for like 1,000 people, it's like, oh yeah, well, like I owe them, like I appreciate you bringing your viewers over to me, because essentially all streamers are kind of like competitors. You know what I mean? Especially when you're playing the same game. So it's like there's always a risk to actually hosting somebody, because then it's like, oh yeah, well, this guy's streaming at around my time slot, and well, these people can choose to go watch their stream instead of mine.
Absolutely.
So there is like a sense of trust there. There's a sense of like camaraderie, networking, but all of that is built like over time, just like long periods of time. I feel.
You said you've been doing this for years.
Yeah, I've been streaming Hearthstone for years. I recently started streaming Magic the Gathering, probably about I'd say 6 months ago, and then completely full time at the beginning of this year. Sorry,
Nice.
like probably about 8 months ago, and then completely full time at the beginning of this year. I've been streaming about 250 hours a month, and I haven't missed a day this year. So.
Nice. But before you got into it's Hearthstone now, right? But like when did you first start streaming?
When I first started streaming, it was when I first kind of got into esports, and I was streaming Hearthstone, and that was a long time ago. That was probably how many years ago was that? Probably about 4 years ago. Yeah. So I first started streaming 4 years ago.
4 years.
Yeah. And at that time, it was
Your
always
side mirror.
it was always just like, oh yeah, it's just casual streaming. I'm just doing it for fun.
Right. Like you worked the job while you're doing it.
I
School.
was going to school. Yeah.
Right.
I was going to school, and I was also like competing and doing esports TV. I was doing esports TV while I was going to school in England as well. So during my master's degree, for example, I did not miss a single class, and I was traveling all around the world for like commentating stuff, television work. So
Dude, that's cool. So you were getting paid while still pursuing your studies.
and commentating work in esports, like it was a ton of money.
Really?
Yeah, an absolute ton of money. It was like a lot of times it would be like it would not be unreasonable to get like 150 pounds, which is close to $200 an hour.
Shit, that's really good money.
Yeah, like it's just ridiculous. Just because it's really hard to find people who are actually experienced with commentating,
Right.
and people who are easy to work with, stuff like that. So you build up relationships with tournament organizers and stuff like that over time.
Right.
And yeah,
So
you get a lot of jobs like that.
But if you the real value is in that you know the game and you're also interesting to listen to.
I
You're
guess
good
so.
you're good at really calling out what's going on in a way that's it's not just the obvious shit, but you have your own interpretation that you can lay on top.
Yep, definitely.
You know?
And I think it's really hard for people who haven't really built a brand, because back then I didn't really build a brand for myself. I was still kind of an unknown person. People are like, oh yeah, well, his achievements are quite good, but apart from that, I have no idea who he is.
Who is this guy though?
Yeah, like
right.
who the hell is this guy? You know?
Yeah.
But now it's a little bit different. It's like, I think part of it's the consistency and stuff. Part of it is being like a first mover, or having a first mover's advantage in Magic the Gathering arena, which is the game I stream now. And one of my Hearthstone friends who lives in Turkey, he went to like his like little village's local game store to play Magic the Gathering, and they were talking about my stream there.
That's pretty sweet.
Wow.
And it was like,
You said in Germany?
in Turkey.
Turkey, sorry.
Yeah, and it's like, what the hell? How's this little village in Turkey that barely has internet, you know,
Right.
talking about my stream, and from what I understand, like they didn't even speak English.
That's wild, dude.
So it's like,
That's fucking wild.
All they have to do is watch the plays, though. I mean, that's not. If I can be frank, that's one thing that kind of gave me an affinity to you is like your limited prowess, right? Because that's a format that I favor myself. I'm not.
It's only real format, anyways.
Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
I mean,
Anarchy.
I'm not great at it by far, but I mean that's the one that I enjoy the most. So I have the most fun playing Magic, playing Limited. So I mean I can name drop some other people, you know, locally that I know they're also good at Limited, right? But I can attach that. I'm like, yo, he's got the personality, like you're saying. It's the personality plus the skill. Okay.
I mean, so for my stream, kind of, I guess like the secret sauce to my personality, I feel, is like I basically just try to just be myself. And being myself is like the absolute dumbest person you'll probably ever meet. Like, a lot of times I yell at my viewers, you know what I mean? I'm like, you coward! Like, come back here, explain yourself.
What do you mean?
Yeah, like, explain yourself. What the hell do you mean that was a misplay?
Yeah. Like you were asking me, you didn't know it was me. You're like,
Oh,
why are we gonna play the giant here? Like this doesn't get in for damage. You know?
Oh yeah, that was today. Yeah, that's right.
We're not gonna get in for damage here.
Yeah, that's right. So the opponent had their 4/5 on the board, the Manticore, right?
Yep. That was with the 4/5 red thing, right?
Yeah, the 4/5 red thing, the Massacre or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Manticore, and we had a 5/6 or a 4/5. I was like, no.
I was thinking that you could get some counters on the death touch guys and then proliferate off of that. But you were right to just try to mash in damage while he had no card advantage.
It's like sometimes it's cool to be fancy. Sometimes it's better just to end their life.
Right. And he fucking quit. He gave up. So
just to send them to the Shadow Realm.
right.
But yeah, it's I don't know. And it's a lot of luck as well.
Yep.
Like for example, for Hearthstone, for example, I was basically doing the same thing in Hearthstone. Obviously, it wasn't as consistent, but in Hearthstone, the streamer base was already so saturated that basically it was almost impossible to break through as like a newer streamer. And I'm sure that that's the same way with Fortnite and with like Apex Legends and PUBG and all those other streams. Like if you're a new streamer, it's probably too late for like 99% of the new streamers.
Go play some indie games.
Yeah, or something like that. Like you definitely have to find something, and it's just honestly, it's a nightmare. Yeah.
Finding that fit, like a place where people will actually discover your content, and then it's something that you enjoy doing enough that you're passionate enough to keep showing up.
Basically, the stars have to align.
Yep.
So that's a lot of luck there.
I can't tell if that was like Paul farted or if that's something from outside. Do you smell anything?
Yeah.
Like through your ear vents? Or does it smell like it's coming from here?
It smells like it might have been coming from that direction.
It wasn't me.
Me, man.
I think it was the dog.
I mean, it might at some point be me, so I'll just apologize ahead of time. Right?
I did eat the beans. Sorry.
Okay, so it's working a little bit, right? Like we're up to 21 viewers.
Yeah.
It says.
From 5, and now it's actually the counter now says 35. So
Counter says 35.
It's actually quite significant.
Yes.
It's like boom. Yes.
We famous.
I don't know. I don't count on it. I think it's this the influencer economy. It's dude, the shit's like
It's fragile.
Is it gonna last?
Yeah, I think it's really fragile. Was it you that was talking about there being a bubble?
Esports. I read about an esports bubble.
Okay.
And like just how people are representing numbers inside of this particular world. Like the shoutcasters can make $150, $200 an hour. That's huge.
Yep.
I had no idea.
And I was the lower end of commentators. So, for example, a lot of my other friends, like the ones who host or commentate at the International, like for Dota 2,
Right.
they're like making, I don't know, like 5 figures that weekend. Yeah.
That's why they dress so nice.
Just the weekend, sir.
Yeah. Something like that.
They can afford to wear these nice clothes.
Yeah, they're all in 3-piece suits, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's 5 figures. I could be wrong. It's been a while.
It doesn't seem unreasonable.
The cash prizes for the tournaments are huge.
Besides the cash prizes, there's hella sponsors. I mean,
Yes.
the money's there.
Sponsorship.
So.
Yep. But that's kind of the funny thing. It's almost a paradox of esports, where it's like it looks so big, everybody knows about it now. There are like all these NBA stars, and there's like the Dallas Cowboys investing into complexity.
Wow.
Basically, and I think J-Lo is invested into NRG. I believe. Sorry, is it J-Lo? I don't know. One of those like big names, whatever. But even though that's kind of like the perception of it, the reality of it, especially like at the lower end esports, it's filled with people who are working for like about a third of what they deserve to be working. As like because the thing is that esports is so competitive.
Yeah.
But the people who are doing the actual good work, the highest skilled work in esports, they could be making 3 times as much like working outside esports, something else, because they're just that good.
Are you referring to like the players?
No, not the players. I'm referring to like the talent, the people who like manage esports events and
1%.
Yeah, like basically 1%. Like most of the esports competitors cannot make a living on whatever they do.
Yep.
Definitely the perception of it is much greater than the reality of it, I feel. People are waiting for that bubble to burst. Like, people are like, oh yeah, well, I want to get my foot through the door. I'm, as a non-endemic company, don't know anything about esports, but I've heard all about it. I see all these people, you know, like Shaquille O'Neal, all these other people.
Diving in, you know?
Yeah, diving into it. So I want a part of that as well, because I'm looking for something to invest in.
Sure.
Yeah, but the thing is that right now, like, basically the return on esports is completely negative.
Yeah.
Like, you should not expect to see any of your money back. But the value of that is that you create a foundation, a structure for esports that for when that bubble pops and esports becomes mainstream and esports is the next big thing, just like basketball or the NBA before once wasn't and then was.
Right.
Then you already have that structure in place and you already are there, right? Like, you're prepared for it, and that's the cost of that. So,
do you think it's worth it though? I mean, you're saying it like there's going to be longevity like there is in the NBA.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
So, the thing is, I don't know if it's going to be worth it, but that's what people are banking on, right?
I understand.
It is definitely very interesting. I've been to universities like around the UK talking about this stuff as well. Talking about this stuff, talking about also esports in video games, in education, because there's a lot of like schools and stuff that are trying to incorporate esports elements into
high schools, man.
Yeah, like high schools.
Starting young.
There's a lot of schools in like Sweden and stuff that are incorporating it, and like I think at an even younger stage. And basically everyone's preparing for this this big reality where esports is something that's real, something that's valuable, and something that takes over the world in terms of entertainment.
You know, just in the scope of this conversation, I don't think in the long run that esports is going to last, but you know, kind of based off of what you're kind of projecting, which is this this shift, right, where esports has a place in, you know, a more mainstream society, right? I'm more
household too.
Right, I'm more interested in what it might evolve into, actually.
Dude, we all saw Ready Player One.
I have not actually.
Whoa, oh shit.
Yeah.
Dude.
I've seen either.
No, you guys haven't? Oh my god.
I just watched anime, I'm sorry.
Alright.
Yu-Gi-Oh reruns.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm with Death Sea in that there's definitely a future.
Okay.
And you asked who's winning. It's the actual vendors,
Yeah.
the ones that are selling hardware.
Of course.
Because it's just like with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Whenever there's, or you know, the gold rushes, you want to be the one selling the pickaxes, and you want to be supplying the mining towns.
Because
So
the gold's going to run out, but
Yeah.
People interested in finding it are going to be forever.
There's always going to be new prospectors, right? So, like, if you're selling mice, there's that one company that has these like limited drops of mice that I learned about.
Limited drops.
Like they did a deal with Ninja,
Okay.
co-brand deal with Ninja, and then at this convention you're going to see a bunch of vendors too.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see like who's got the coolest booth.
That's kind of a competition between vendors as well.
Oh yeah.
You know, we're like bragging rights for like the coolest setup.
Yep.
I mean, it's going to be Corsair because RGB, but you know.
You think so?
Yeah.
So apparently Cooler Master is also stepping in.
Okay.
Like they're stepping into the hardware arena in a big way.
Are we talking like peripheral wise or?
Yeah.
Peripherals, because I've got a Cooler Master like power supply, but I don't.
Power supply.
I mean, I don't think they don't make memory. You know, they don't.
No, they don't.
Okay.
They don't. But they're really getting into peripherals.
Interesting.
Because I think there's quite a lot of money to be made in peripherals.
Sure. I think the way that most peripheral companies work is that they buy like some sort of like base item from China or something, and then they like reskin it.
Yes. It's all about like you get a thing that's a commodity, and then you put a nice shell around it,
Right.
and then you mark. So it's marketing and branding. If you do this effectively, then you can sell this thing that like costs you next to nothing to make, had very little R&D expenditure, and like you can rapid prototype all day now with 3D printing. It's so cheap to develop the stuff, and you can just push it out. You got your hordes of loyalists. Influencer marketing is huge. That's how I'm aware that Cooler Master is making a big push. Because most recently I've seen these posts where I hadn't seen Cooler Master at all. Like now you've got people saying like, "Hey, I'm so excited that I'm now a Cooler Master partner," or you know, whatever. Like use my code.
I like this guy. I want to save some money.
Affiliate codes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's really interesting.
Whereas like the guys that have been in peripherals for a really long time, like Razer and Logitech, they don't really mess with the codes. They're sponsoring the world-class gaming organizations, and so they're everywhere already. Yeah, they're ubiquitous.
Plus, I think there's a lot of brand loyalty with those guys that have been in the game for decades at this point. You know?
Yes, dude.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I prefer my sponsorships as well. I feel like it's almost shallow what basically a lot of these companies are trying to kind of emulate these affiliate programs, which I think were pretty cool and effective before, but these days it's just not as interesting, just because a lot of people just see through it. So it's like if you're like, oh yeah, well buy this thing, use my code, that almost doesn't feel like an endorsement. You know what I mean?
Right.
For me, I mean, obviously this is like the ideal world where you want to be sponsored by things that you actually love, right? You're like, oh my god,
absolutely.
like there's no other thing I would use. Like I would rather die than use like I don't know, Logitech mouse, you know, like my Corsair, whatever is the best. And that's kind of what I prefer as well. But
I think that's the way it's supposed to be. But unfortunately, people it's like you're saying, you know, people want to kind of get in and say that they're sponsored by somebody.
Yeah,
you know? I don't know.
And for companies as well, it's pretty hard to like find out ways how to collaborate with streamers and stuff beyond just having affiliate codes and stuff like that. Like, okay, we'll send you some stuff. You get affiliate code, and then whatever you make, like 10% of it goes in your pocket or whatever.
Right.
That sort of perspective is like I want to say almost outdated, but it's definitely difficult to find like better solutions to that.
I was gonna say, like, what is the alternative?
Yeah, like what is the alternative?
I don't think I like it either. I'm certainly one of the people that sees straight through it, but I also see myself, you know, if I was in that position to kind of, you know, just grab it, whatever's there, outside of, you know, maybe my brand loyalty to, let's just say Corsair. I love Corsair. What? You know, but you know, but I mean that's how it would be. You know, I want to have, you know, this on my panels. I want to be able to say and have people be loyal to me, and of course, you know, reap any benefits that might come along with that.
Yeah. So like these days, apparently once you made it big, you know, like once you've hit the big time, all of these companies are emailing you like constantly. So like every single day after streams, I'm checking these emails, and they're like, oh yeah, well we really want to do like a partnership, something. And I'm like, oh yeah, can you tell me more? And every single one's an affiliate program.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, oh right, yeah. Well, you can make X amount of money off of this, off of every sale, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't care about your product.
Right.
And and
there's no downside there. They're not actually putting any skin in the game.
Exactly.
At that point.
So like with Tempo Storm, for example, I've signed a 2-year contract. You know, like, and that's a long time.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why the contract is so long is because, well, they're investing a ton into me, and because of that, well, it just makes sense that, you know, that we're in it together for the long run.
Right.
It's like, I don't know. It's like it's hard to trust someone who doesn't who doesn't look like someone who would go down with the ship himself. You know?
Right. I actually initially, when you said 2 years, didn't think that was that long.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that long.
Yeah. I mean,
you know,
in normal times, it's not that long.
Right.
But in esports time, it's actually quite long.
Right.
You know, like
that's
2
a couple
years,
of seasons. It's,
yeah. It's many seasons.
Right.
But definitely for sure, I think that's part of it is like, well, a lot of these companies can't really afford to actually to go down the ship. They can't afford to sink their teeth into it. They can't afford to put in much, honestly. But they're looking for ways to grow themselves. But yeah, most of these sponsorship deals are just not worth it. Because for me as well, I don't want to be advertising that I don't believe in either, right?
Right.
It's like, well, if I don't like this product, why am I telling people who
Yes.
to actually buy this product if I myself don't like it?
It damages your integrity.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be the killer for me. As much as I would want to grab, I don't think it would be smart to attach yourself.
I've been here for a long time.
It's gonna get more and more professional.
Yeah, we'll see.
Better organized. There are going to be a lot of people who throw a lot of time and money at it and lose it all.
Did you guys see the news recently of Mike Tyson getting into esports?
No.
So Mike Tyson, he recently just partnered, I think just last week, partnered with one of my friends' organizations that has a ton of my friends in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're building a 200 acre, wait, is 200 acre, is that correct?
That's really freaking large. That's about the size of the new Star Wars theme area in Disneyland, by the way.
I think it's 200 acres.
That's huge, man.
A 200 acre gaming house.
Okay.
It'll be called the Tyson
It's just not 20. It's 20 sounds more like it.
20 acre?
20 acres.
Maybe.
Seems like that's good for about 100 people or so.
Here.
200 acres.
Let me check. I'm bad at numbers, alright? Even though I rely on numbers for
crunching the hell out of ratios and counting cards and shit.
Exactly, but it's crazy. It's just people are really sinking their money into it. I'm really interested to see where it goes.
That sounds really interesting. So, the latest one that I heard of was Terry Crews.
Okay.
Not even large, a game with my son. He games with his son.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. It's kind of jumping into it. But how did Mike Tyson even?
Mike Tyson. It was Mike Tyson invested, and I think it was the mayor of Los Angeles or something invested into it.
Okay.
And some other people as well. It's just something else. But esports is definitely at a primitive stage. I think that in all of esports, the most advanced part is actually streaming. Streaming is the most stable thing so far. I think that streaming eventually, if you can offer your viewers something more than simply just emotes for their subscriptions, I think that can definitely take it to the next level as well.
Are we talking about tying in things like Patreon and things like that?
Yeah, almost like that.
Okay.
Almost like that, where it's so in my channel, I have a few 1-year subscribers.
Yeah.
And what I do is I actually send them a Destiny's Dueling Academy diploma, a full actual diploma.
Nice.
And then maybe a 6 months or something, maybe it's I can send Destiny sleeves or something.
Okay, you have those?
No, I don't have those.
Okay, I was like, whoa.
But that's a good idea, right?
It is.
Just creating more incentives.
Say it again.
Better than honey garlic.
I don't know. Maybe the side of that as well.
In 6 months, you get card sleeves that you can eat.
Oh yes.
When they're old and ratty, just eat it.
Your opponent's sweaty hands all over as well.
Disgusting. I was discussing that with somebody else. That doesn't change their sleeves very often.
Oh, okay. With all the gunk on it.
Yeah, how where you can pick off the dead skin. I guess it is. Why?
Yeah, it's wild.
Change your sleeves, dude.
So the attic that I stream in is actually pretty humid.
Yeah.
And they're I'm getting a dehumidifier soon.
Okay.
But whenever I'm streaming, there's the lights on me and stuff, and I'm super sweaty.
Yeah.
I actually have to wash my mouth about once a month. So it's just gunk and stuff built up on it.
Sweat, your dead skin, all these
Exactly, dead skin.
Always on it.
And it builds up thick. And I'm this is disgusting.
This can't be healthy.
Yeah. Card sleeves. Ugh. The future is here, Magic Arena.
Gamer gunk.
Did you ever play on Moto?
Yeah, I played a Moto.
Okay.
I actually prefer the interface on Moto.
Do you really?
Yeah.
You know, I like the feel of it. I was never a fan of like the smaller car. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
scrunching
Yeah, definitely.
the text together and whatnot.
The layout was definitely could have been improved. Like there's so much wasted space that could be used for big cards and stuff.
And Farco 5 asked, in terms of esports, do you guys know how the Zoomer demographic view is?
The Zoomer demographic view is still super niche among them, or is it gaining traction with that generation? Zoomer.
Zoomers.
What is the definition of Zoomer?
I'm actually curious as well.
Boomers.
So we have
Oklahoma
boomers and
Sooners. Zoomers.
Well, these are post 95ers, right?
Zoomers. Also in reference to fast-paced upbringing members of Generation Z.
Okay, Generation Z, I get it.
Or a slang term for shrooms/mushrooms.
That's probably not it. So, what was this question again, Alice? Can you read it out to me again?
Yeah.
What is it, Gen Z? Just for
So the question
Yeah,
again,
basically just like
in terms of esports, do you guys know how the Zoomer demographic, the view of esports is amongst that demographic, the Zoomers? Is it still super niche among them, or is it gaining traction with that generation? And the generation here is 97 to 2014.
97, yeah, post 95, right?
Why would it still be niche? I think that's kind of the target demographic for it right now, in my opinion, because like when it comes to video games and stuff, the people who actually have money, people who actually have like, well, the people who actually have money to spend are people who are kind of our age or like slightly older, who you work a lot and you come home, you look for entertainment, you're looking for something to spend your money on, spend your time on. Whereas I think like younger kids, yes, there's Fortnite and there's stuff like that, but they are really not a target demographic for esports, because they realistically they can't really travel, they can't they can't go to events. A lot of these games are basically for older audiences as well. Games like Dota, Counter-Strike, even Magic the Gathering. Like very rarely do I get anyone in my channel younger than 16 years old. So I think that the general demographic for esports is kind of this like Zoomer generation or whatever we want to call it. And I think that gaining traction, if we're talking about gaining traction, a better question would be, is it gaining traction amongst the older folk? Is it gaining traction amongst the younger folk? Because I think that those two demographics are not part of the current perspective of what esports is supposed to be. So, yeah, that's basically my answer.
97 to 2014, 2014? That seems like really far out.
I'm surprised that they can actually hear us.
I'm actually really surprised too. I was positive like the road nose would drown you out.
Yeah. Jesse has that piercing voice.
Oh, you got some boom, boy.
I mean, I would love to have bass in my voice. I don't know how people get that. But,
you gotta quit the e-cigs and switch to the cigs.
see, that's the thing. I smoked real cigarettes for many, many years because I wanted that, that Nat King Cole. You know what I mean? That Frank Sinatra,
right.
Dean Martin. And I was like, well, I've been smoking for like a decade here.
Nothing's changing.
Yeah, nothing's changing. I quit. I quit, man.
Congrats, by the way.
Thanks, yeah. Makes me sick now. I can't really smoke normal cigarettes anymore.
Yeah, they're pretty gross.
But like an event with a bunch of people in the background and stuff like that, walking by, and my voice was actually louder than the voice of than the sound of the speakers. So it was like the weirdest thing ever. This is the weirdest thing ever. But I saw that piercing voice that was piercing through an audience.
You've developed it over time. It's nothing that came overnight, right?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. So I've never lost my voice in my life. And I stream 250 hours a month, right?
That's crazy.
So, and I'm talking the entire time, vaping. Before I was vaping nicotine salts, so like, like it really dries you out.
Yeah.
And it was still perfectly fine.
No kidding.
Yeah, bulletproof.
That's pretty dope, dude. Do you remember your first commentating event or gig, should I say?
Yeah, my first commentating event. So I remember my first online commentating event, and I remember my first broadcast, like studio broadcast.
Okay.
So my very first event was something called Gosu Gamers,
Okay.
and that was an online tournament cup. And my friend Nick, who was a commentator for Hearthstone, he basically was doing that solo, but he didn't like solo commentary. Right? Like me, on the other hand, I love solo commentary. I love just talking.
Just by yourself?
Yeah, just talking by myself, talking like that, because it's a lot easier, especially online, when you can't see your co-commentator's face.
Sure.
It's very easy to talk over each other sometimes. Yeah. But so he didn't want to do it on his own, so he was like, hey, well, this isn't a paid gig or anything, but if you would like to put out, or if you don't mind putting out like 6 to 7 hours a week, you know, to help me co-commentate this, it'll be some good experience for you.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I don't know what this esports thing is. I didn't know people can make money off video games.
Yeah.
And that was my first thing. I did that for about 2 or 3 months. And then where was it from? Yeah. So there was a commentating gig with ESL UK. We were invited by my friend Falcone, and I were invited there to commentate. And that was our first commentating gig, and the chat hated us. They absolutely hated us. Like, they tore us apart.
Yeah.
I was so depressed for the longest time.
Yeah. Was that like your first dose of you know, like the comment section?
Yep.
Evil comment section?
Yep.
Okay.
It's like kind of the thing where, well, you thought these people were just fine people, but apparently online they're just
Just transforming into fucking demons.
Yeah. And that was pretty depressing. But from that gig, my television esports career kind of began. So there was a scout for television esports, a channel called Jinx TV in London.
Jinx, yeah.
And I think I have almost 200 live hours on Jinx. So 200 live hours on television. And they basically saw that commentate, or they saw the cast for that tournament at ESL UK, and they absolutely loved it. So they had me on. So they loved it. The people didn't like it. And that's how I got basically my first like real gig. And then that was like a solid amount of income. That was like like every single night that I was on TV, it would be like $400 or $500.
Damn, dude.
Just talking about video games and stuff like that. And that was basically that.
It's pretty sweet.
It's really cool because, fuck, so many people put so much time into just the games. They have great knowledge of the games, and it doesn't ever add up to anything.
Yeah, and that's very normal. I think that's just like a normal thing in life. Is that there's so many people who are dedicated, passionate about something, but no matter how passionate you are about it, if you don't have a strategy, if you don't get a little bit lucky, then nothing's gonna happen. And you never hear about those people, right? Just because, well, why would you?
Yeah. It's the majority of folks. You're not going to hear about them, right?
Exactly.
With their big passion, and they've been in XYZ, you know, field. You know, a talent or whatever it is from, you know, grade school, etc. on, and they just don't do anything with it. So, and I remember the first time that I heard that you were either commentating or you were going to be making some video or something like that. You know, again, with the prowess that you've had, you know, just playing with you and sitting across from you several times, you know, in my Magic career anyway. And then, you know, knowing that you got the skill, right? Like, holy crap, like, you can actually do something with these card games. It's nuts, you know?
That's right. Like, I don't remember if it was Dreamhack last year. I think it was Dreamhack Austin last year. You were like, Vincent, you're esports or something like that.
I saw your shirt, you had a jersey. I was like, what the crap are you doing?
Exactly.
Caught the selfie, and I told my homeboy, he was like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah,
like,
nobody knows.
Yeah, just get over there. You don't. If you don't know, you'll never know. You know what I mean?
Never know, man.
I mean, I couldn't even explain it to him. That was the thing. Like, it didn't matter to him. But that was the year that he actually top 8 it. He went to day 3 on that event.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So you know, there's a paper magic tournament, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like the 5K, I think he placed 4th or 5th. It's pretty nice.
So the 5K is it's on Sunday, right?
Yeah. So you know, they do the points. Anybody who gets first in any of the events is automatically entered, and then they'll go by points.
Oh, okay.
We made it to the top 64 for day 3, and they'll do the 8-pod draft, and then winners of those pods do another draft. And he placed top 8 in the final draft.
It's actually so funny because these days, after competing in Hearthstone for so long, after being esports for so long, I actually hate competing. I cannot stand competing. Like, there's nothing worse than practicing and preparing so much, going to an event, playing a fucking card game, getting fucked.
Yeah, because it'll happen. It's gonna happen. The numbers are gonna be against you at some point.
Yeah, exactly. And you're just like, well,
my time.
Yeah, my time was wasted. It feels bad. I let people down.
Right.
I just hate competing. So these days, I'm just playing for fun.
Man, it's so dope that it's even possible for you, man. Congratulations, you know, honestly.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Because like last year, I was so poor, man. I was so poor, just like holding out for like a good esports job. Because with my master's in sociology, basically my specialty is like demographics and marketing and stuff like that. And I've done basically consulting for quite a lot of esports entities, like I guess both non-endemic and endemic companies. And I was really just looking for some really, really good marketing position, and it wasn't really coming. You know, like there were a bunch that looked very promising, and we had like, you know, maybe like 4 or 5 interviews with some of these companies, right? And then it ends up with, okay, well this is all we can offer you.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, well that's not enough, right? Like that's just not enough for the level of basically expertise that I have.
Yeah. And experience.
And experience that I have, and like my degree and everything like that. So I was just so poor last year, and luckily this year, like streaming's been better than I could have hoped for any of those wages and stuff like that.
Damn, dude.
Don't give up on your dreams, kids.
Don't let your dreams be memes.
And now you have a bank account.
Yes, now I have a bank account because like prize money from tournaments and stuff, and also my team, they have to pay me through direct deposit, and before I only had PayPal, right? So I'm like, okay, well, I gotta open up a bank account.
Yeah. Shit. Very interesting.
How long do you see yourself doing this?
That is a great question. I kind of want to be streaming forever. It might not be magic, you know what I mean? It might be something else, but I really do like just like having the same people that I'm seeing every single day come by, and just chatting about random stuff. And even when we're playing Magic, even when we're playing like really high level Magic, we're talking about random stuff,
right?
Like education and stuff like that, or anime, or we're talking about.
I'm not talking about your scholarships.
yeah, like stuff like that. You know what I mean? Just talking about really random stuff, and this is fun. Also, these days, especially in Houston, I don't really have many friends. It's just Ben, Andrea, and Min.
Right. Y'all are so close. Y'all are hella tight.
Yeah.
But I think that's what it takes. You got to keep your circle small to a point, right?
I mean, it's not even a circle. It's like a dot. Yeah.
It's a dot.
Like, which is fine. I'm happy with that. But streaming every single day, I just don't really have time for anything else. So I see them maybe like once a week, once every other week, something like that, which is pretty frequent, I guess.
I mean, as friendships go, you know.
Yeah. I mean, they're all busy as well, you know.
Of course.
Everyone's busy.
So we're thankful that we have the opportunities when they come.
Yeah, exactly. Like Dreamhack Dallas, woohoo!
Yeah. You know, I met up with Ben, right?
Okay.
Last year. Just randomly. I didn't even know he was going to be there.
Yeah.
I don't think Andrea was not there. She was at I don't think she was with Channel Fireball at the time.
Yeah.
So she was at some tournament.
Yeah, something.
Some GP.
educational side of it, and she basically just goes all the GPs and stuff, and which is so funny. Like, I just think it's so funny how Magic has actually dynamically changed the quality of our lives.
Yeah.
It's just so weird. Just think about the amount of time you played Magic. Like, obviously the money you really put into it as well.
It was an investment for sure.
Yeah, and then like the people you meet from that, because obviously we're here now, right? Because we were playing Magic years back.
If we had not met playing that card game, you would not be in my car right now.
Exactly. That shit,
I might be at my house. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We're not going.
That garbage card game, God bless.
Gee whiz. But I think that goes to show again, just kind of go back to, don't give up on your dreams. It really depends on the person. How bad do you want it? You know what I mean? Are you willing to be better? Are you willing to, take notes and study, better players? You know what I mean? Like, I learned a lot just watching you last night, my dude. I'm so serious. Like certain picks that I would have picked, and you're like going for the third eight of the fallen.
Everyone in the chat was so against it. Everyone in the chat was so against it. Eight of the fallen saber asked every single game.
It really did, dude. It was. I don't know what game it was. I stopped watching after a while because I was working on so much. I really didn't sleep, but hearing you say, man, I really wish I had a fourth eight of the fallen. You know what I mean? It's wild. Man.
Shit, we use all three.
Right, and that was the thing too. One after another, and you won that game too. Like, holy smoke! Bringing Vraska back 2 and 3 times. The crap, dude.
It's so funny. I had another game where the opponent just swung out and they were one off, right? So I made a block where if they had any instant or sorcery, their bird would get buffed.
You smell it too.
Oh yeah.
It's got to be a skunk though, right?
I don't know. Could be a skunk. Could be a skunk, I guess. I don't know. You'd have to be burning a lot.
Yeah.
To smell it on a highway like that.
No kidding. That's a skunk. Dude. Something's dead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. So basically, I just made a block when it won, and then they died on the backswing. That's it. But
make them make the decision, right?
Exactly.
Make them choose.
It's like on my stream, basically. Actually, my philosophy in card games, unless there's a time restraint or something, unless it's 0% to win, just don't concede. The thing is that, so what I tell my chat is that, yeah, even if a game is only 1% to win, well, if you play 100 games a week, you are going to win one of those unwinnable games.
Don't give up, right?
Yeah, don't give up. And realistically, a lot of games aren't 1%. They're maybe 5, 10%.
Sure.
Okay, it doesn't look likely, but if you don't got shit to do, just play it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas I know other people are like, oh yeah, just save your time, just concede.
I hear that a lot. And I've adapted, and adapt's not what I want to do. I've adopted rather that philosophy, and I used to not do that too. Like, no, you're gonna have to kill me. People look at me like, why don't you give up? Why don't you just turn your freaking card sideways?
Exactly.
If you got it, then do it, right?
Yeah, just do it. Yeah, especially with the less experienced people, in those situations where they think they've already won, is the moment where they can make the biggest mistake.
Yep, and it happens.
It happens. I mean,
9 out of 10 times, right?
I've done it in high level tournaments as well.
That's my claim to fame, dude. Yeah. Just throwing the game, just because I'm getting cocky or whatever.
Exactly. So yourself this. The moment when you think you've already won is the moment you need to focus.
You really sit back and not rush your play.
Yeah.
Did you bring weed or get with you?
No.
It was really strong inside the car.
I didn't.
No, I mean there are definitely skunks, dead skunks on the road.
Sure.
I'm seeing them from time to time, and I thought, oh yeah, you're right.
I'm not taking notice, but I definitely smelled it. I was and then you looked at me.
I actually don't smoke weed anymore. Yeah.
Did you ever?
I never smoked much.
Yeah.
But it was every once in a while for fun or whatever.
Sure. Now it's not worth it at all, really.
Yeah. I mean, I just like being in control. You know what I mean?
I understand.
I'm always whenever I smoked, I was like, well, I'm gone.
I guess this is it.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Did I tell you the story of when I D2'd Grand Prix Liverpool?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so it was when I was living in England. There was a Grand Prix Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
It was Cons of Tarkir block sealed.
Yay, I love that.
Yeah, and it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So I started off the day with this crazy 5-color deck.
Okay.
You know, obviously the Grand Prix, I would get the hardest pool I've ever built in my life.
Right.
And I built it. I was splashing like triple green card. I was splashing like double red cards, like double white card, double black card.
Yikes.
And so I started off 1 and 2.
Okay.
And I ended up winning out. So I won out 7 and 2.
Okay.
And I made day 2.
Yeah.
Both of the people I lost to in the beginning also made day 2.
Nice.
So I was like, what the fuck was this like stacked ass like early bracket, you know? That's like just Desi RNG as usual.
Yeah.
And then day 2, so I have really bad sleeping problems, and this is usually when I'm sleeping.
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
Oh, okay, wow.
So this is usually when I'm sleeping. So I have really, really bad insomnia. So my friends were, they were smoking some weed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? That stuff makes me go to sleep. And then so I took a hit, and oh my god, I don't know what was up with the English street, but I was so high, like I basically just passed out, right? And I had a really good sleep.
Yeah.
But the problem was, I woke up, and I was still high. And I was like, holy shit. Yeah, so I went to the first draft pod at the Grand Prix, high as hell. I drafted this deck with, there was this enchantment. It was like 2 blue plus 2/2, give your creature flying.
Alright.
And I had 5 of those in my deck. And I was like, what the fuck is this?
Why?
Like, what happened?
Yeah.
What happened? Like, I must have been high as shit. I guess it was. And I ended up throwing my first game. I threw my first match.
Yeah.
Because I was high as hell.
It's gonna happen.
And after that,
Oh man. That sucks.
I was like, god dang it. That was a double-edged sword there.
Got the sleep you needed, but
Exactly.
like maybe too tired to function.
Yep. What a time.
Yeah, I like to say that was some of the most fun that I had playing Magic, but
Like a bad wolf and stuff.
right, you know, with
I kept again like, oh,
with
that's
JL,
high.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's funny.
It's like, I'm gonna lose anyway.
Yeah.
Let's go. Whatever.
I mean, I like that.
I passed the master waves. I'm already fucked.
I like the casual Magic. It's pretty interesting. I feel like
Casual Magic.
like casual Magic is like just play, make the bad picks, but the fun picks.
Sure.
You just make like a fun deck, troll the shit out of your opponent.
But you'd still win that. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, sometimes I'm like, damn, like I'm probably that good. But I think that's kind of the future of esports as well. I think that one of the problems with esports right now is that there's a huge focus on competition and on the personalities, and in a way that doesn't really involve like the people watching at home.
Right.
Like it doesn't really do with arts, but the thing is that esports doesn't really have anything to do with him.
Yeah. As a middle class, blue collar guy. Or
Exactly.
whatever, right.
Whereas I think that like casual gaming and like especially community gaming, and we're talking a little bit about community before, where you're like, yeah, well, maybe Houston community, like could you build something out of that? I think that kind of emphasis on casual gaming and on community, whether that's the small size of a family or community as in like your city, something like that. I think that that's kind of where esports needs to go to be more inclusive. Like, you have to feel like you have a part in esports. You need to feel like you have a stake in like being part of this reality that everyone's so hyped up about.
Right.
This esports reality.
That's kind of where I was getting at. I feel like that is where it's at. I was shied away from esports really because of that reason. Well, like esports, I'm like, I don't know anybody that's good enough to be playing in this tournament. At the time, early in esports, maybe 5 5 years ago to maybe a decade ago. You know, I was playing League of Legends and everything. You know, there was people that they would compete, right?
Yeah.
Dota, things like this,
Yeah.
Dota 2, whatever. I just wasn't interested. Like I didn't even care to get better.
Yeah.
And that was the thing about it. Like my friends would laugh at me, like, you're not watching, you're not watching the pros. Well, that's why you suck. Well, you might be right, but I'm playing how I want to play, and I'm having fun.
Yeah, sure, exactly.
So.
I mean, the thing is, like, a lot of people, rightfully or wrongfully so, think that I'm like a high-level Magic player now, right? Like, they're like, oh wow, like this is one of the greatest of all time. If there was a Magic Arena Hall of Fame,
Sure.
like, you know, you'd be contention for that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, I do mess around a lot, and we do still win a lot,
Yep.
right? And because like we're still making good plays with the bad decks, whatever.
Of course, right.
But the thing about that is that I completely forgot what I was talking about.
we were talking about the community. I mentioned wasn't in esports because I didn't care about the competition of the people that were pro level.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So basically my philosophy on the game, the way I play, like the way that I advise people on my channel as well, because a lot of people come in and they're like, oh, I'm losing so much. What do I do to get better? Like, I want to hit that next rank,
Sure.
you know?
Sure.
And I'm like, don't worry about the rank. Like, first of all, you're obviously a new player. Another way to say that is that, well, you suck. And that's normal.
Just being nice, yeah.
That's normal.
You got to come up from somewhere, you know?
Exactly. And the way, like, basically, where I've gotten in Magic, it's just basically just trying to figure everything out myself and just try to have the most fun with the way that I think, right? Like, my logic. And I think that is the most important thing about the game, right? Like, whether you're going to win it or not, the exploration phase of it is the most important thing. For me, when Magic becomes boring is when I feel like I have nothing else to learn from that set. And then, well, at that point, what's the point of playing? Right? Let's wait for the next set. So, basically, the worse you are, the more content you have.
To do what now? To play more games, you said?
Yeah. Or not to play more games, but to, like, learn stuff and figure stuff out.
Learn from the games you're playing,
Yeah.
sure. Now, that said, you know, why wouldn't that ever drive you or inspire you or make you want to play Constructed?
Play what?
Constructed, man.
Oh, Constructed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, Constructed, I have a lot of fun at the beginning of a set, in, like, the first week or so, you know, like, before the meta settles
Right,
down.
really, like, settles in, right?
Yeah, so, like, you're trying out a bunch of new stuff, and that part's really fun. But once it becomes stale, that is the point when I feel like it's not worth it anymore. Like, for the same reason as in Limited, if I feel like I basically solved the set, I figured out the set,
Right.
and I have nothing else to learn, then there's no point for me to play anymore. Because the content is completed. So, Constructed, it's definitely interesting. In Magic, I really hope that there's more limited tournaments and stuff.
Can you explain something that I was wondering? I was kind of curious how, like, these algorithms work.
Sure.
I've heard it mentioned before, like how they give you land in your opening hand.
Yeah, so the best of one algorithm, basically they try, and it's called like a hand smoother.
Right.
So they're trying to ensure that everyone gets to play the most amount of Magic that they can play.
Sure.
So apparently what they do is they draw two hands, and they give you the one that has a better distribution of lands compared to spells. So you're always going to get, it's basically as if you're playing a casual F&M or something.
Okay.
And you have a free mulligan, almost. Right? So you guess here's the first 7, and you don't like it, you put it back, get another one.
Yeah.
But this one's even better because they look at both.
Yeah, you can see either one, and then you'll keep the random one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's basically the algorithm. I am a conspiracy theorist. Okay, I think the algorithm is completely rigged. First of all, why would you need an algorithm to fix something that isn't broken?
Randomize the freaking deck, right? And give me the top 7.
Exactly. Like, if that's fine, then why do we need this special algorithm?
Sure.
Well, the reason is because it's not fine, alright? It's a band-aid. Alright?
That's fair. They want people to be comfortable playing the game, you know, so they have this algorithm. I understand. I gain information,
Okay.
so it's not
okay.
that
Algorithm going on.
right. Well, I'm talking about the draft algorithm.
So there are different personalities for the AIs. So like one of them's a Timmy, right? Who likes a rare draft. He likes to pick the best rares. That personality might be like a Spike. You know, he's picking the best card out of the pack, passing that off-color bomb rare P2.
Right.
Or
I've seen that.
holy shit! Why are you not playing 4 of those in every deck?
Right. You're in Dominaria. This is gonna work for you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really hard to explain to people. No main board enchantment removal.
You definitely should not do that.
Yes, like most of the time in your limited decks.
Unless this is Ravnica that proliferates, perhaps.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So I think that's a better way to do it. So like the drafts are really weird. The best thing about the AI drafts is that you don't have to wait for 8 people. You don't need to wait on Magic Online for like a queue to start.
Yeah.
To start drafting people.
I'm not sure I like that trade-off, first of all, but continue.
Yeah. And actually the best thing for me is that I do private coaching off stream.
Okay.
And it's really, really nice to just stay on a pick for like 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So usually like the first sessions for my students are 2 hours of just drafting one draft.
Yeah.
So 2 hours talking about the implications of drafting.
Okay.
And
On Arena,
yeah,
even with that algorithm.
yeah,
it works?
even with the algorithm.
Okay.
So basically, the way that you approach the algorithm is that you don't worry about what you're passing. You don't worry about sending signals. All you care about is reading signals. That's it. Because even if pack 1 pick 1, I think if you pass a Lyra or something, the bot next to you is not necessarily going into white.
It's true.
Whereas like a real life person will probably be going to white, right?
But what do you have? 8 other players?
Yeah. Or 7 other, right?
Is it 7? Right, sorry, yeah. The Lyra's not going to come back.
Yeah, the Lyra's not coming back, and the person to your left, the bot to your left, is not necessarily going to be white. So, it's very, very strange. So all you need to care about is to see what's open, and I basically focus on finding the signals and the hints to see what's actually open, so that you can always draft the best deck for your seed.
Now, is this more prevalent or relevant? Excuse me, pack 1 or pack 2?
It is
with Arena, because I think it makes a difference, right?
It kind of makes a difference
versus like Paper Magic or even Moto.
Basically, the philosophy is the same.
Okay.
For all of it, I think.
Okay.
Basically, you just get the signals, and once you see the signals, like once you see a card that basically shouldn't be there, right? Like if you see like a late, like a good card that's coming like quite late, and then you see like basically another good card that in the same color that's coming quite late. Okay, well, let's move into this color. And obviously, you're always hedging a little bit, but yeah, on basically it's the same everywhere. It's the same everywhere.
Okay.
But on Magic Arena, it's kind of weird. The pack 3, I think the pack 3 is bugged.
Okay. See, that's exactly why I asked if it's more important pack 1 or pack 2, because I noticed the same thing about pack 3.
Yeah.
Explain, please.
So basically, in pack 3, even if, for example, if black-white is open for all of pack 1, all of pack 2, and pack 3 suddenly is not open.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't make sense. Like, that's not something that happens. Or I've drafted long enough to know that that's not something that happens.
Right.
Also, something that you don't see enough of on Magic Arena, even though people make fun of the bots a lot for passing like rares and stuff, which they do. But in real life, a lot of times, especially in a high level draft, you will see very, very good like bomb rares and stuff being passed.
Sure.
Because people are finding the good cards
for their deck.
Yeah, for their deck to like make their deck as good as it can be, right? People aren't like drafting a random off-color bomb.
Right.
People are picking like this a very, very solid 2-drop for their deck.
Or a Pegasus, for
instance. Yeah, like a Pegasus, right? Sure. Like they need this card. I'm not gonna rare draft this card because obviously there's an opportunity cost to it.
Right.
So on Magic Arena, you don't see that enough. Like you don't see like these crazy bombs being passed in pick 3. So it's definitely off. It's not right.
Needless to say, I have a lot to learn still. I have a lot to learn. I prefer sealed because I don't like
the algorithm.
I can only imagine, like I've considered streaming like myself, like I'm making faces and I'm like putting the pack down and like sitting like thinking, and people are like, dude, is it that hard? I'm like, yeah, and I'm gonna win this tournament. Sit over there and stay in your lane. You know what I mean?
I like that. Yeah.
But I don't win tournaments. Like I win a tournament, a limited tournament, maybe once a year.
Yeah.
But I get top, and it's for that reason too. I like to take my time.
Yep.
And really evaluate, like you said. That's one thing that I did learn. And I forgot who told me that. It might have been you, but
Who knows?
yeah.
Who knows? Like, I mean,
You know Freddie, right?
yeah.
The same thing with Freddie. Freddie's really good. He's got a lot to say about drafts. Yeah, so I listen to his philosophies as well.
Yeah, it's very interesting because even amongst like the top level pros and stuff, we disagree a lot, but we see like where we come from. You know, this age of Magic the Gathering Arena is so crazy because like I'm hanging out with so many of these Hall of Famers and stuff now. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of mixed the world of kind of like streaming and esports with the traditional Magic the Gathering kind of boys club.
Sure. I mean, I was gonna say like these are a lot of old heads too. I know.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it's been really, really crazy.
But you're enjoying yourself, right?
Oh, I'm always enjoying myself. It's crazy. Like a lot of the days I'm so tired because I'm streaming. Most of the time I'm streaming like 9 hours a day, at least, and then like sometimes I have like 12-hour streams, whatever.
One session.
Yeah, in one session, of course. And I love streaming, but then I'm like so tired that I wake up and I'm tired and I'm like making some misplays and stuff. So
Does that happen often? I mean,
yeah, every once in a while. Like sometimes there's this phenomenon. There's this phenomenon that I call that I have, which I call like basically not being able to see the lines. Like basically where all of the plays look the same to me, and I cannot tell.
you don't know which is.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing basically. So sometimes I'm that tired that I'm just like I have no idea what's going on.
No, it's quitting time then, right? I mean, do you ever just like, okay, we gotta stop. Like this is not conducive to either good content or me winning, which is obviously what you want to be doing.
Nah, I mean usually I just play and I lose is fine.
All right.
Just start another draft.
Sure.
But yeah, happens quite a lot.
Let's see. All right, just quick announcements. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to let you know that we entered the second hour of the trip here.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah. We're entering into the second hour.
Okay.
So, yeah, about another 140 miles to Dallas, Texas. Going at a brisk 80 miles an hour. Currently stuck behind a ladder truck.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. This brother is getting in his luck right in there. I'm going to go ahead and pass one.
Excellent.
Whoever does have a tip there, road ticket. Dreamhack, Dallas, 2019.
That's pretty good. Like fake overhead voice or whatever that's called.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. How did you do that?
Got a little bit of gotta kind of open it. I'm like talking to the
Oh, you're too skilled.
So voice acting is definitely a pursuit. Something I'd like to pursue. I should say.
Yeah?
Yeah. Definitely haven't made any movies yet. It's just like we were talking about before. I have a ton of things that I'd love to do, but I'm just like, I'd really rather do this. This is a lot of fun.
I like it as well. Like I like just
Twiddling thumbs. I don't even have anything in my hands. I'm really like doing absolutely nothing. But anyway.
I like lying in bed and reading manga. You know what I mean?
That's not gonna pay the bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. I love that shit. So, God, if I do that for the rest of my life, I'll just be a potato.
That'll be so simple.
Dude, I feel like a potato.
Feel like a potato? Like what
Yeah.
kind of potato?
Like a broke potato.
Like a baked, like a baked
A
potato.
broke potato.
So that would be like a baked potato, I guess, right?
Like baked with no skin and maybe nothing dressing it up.
Oh, really? Okay.
No skin.
No skin. Just like fucking naked and alone and baked. might not enjoy mowing the lawn, but I recognize if I don't do it, then the HOA will find me. And they will send somebody to forcefully mow my lawn, and I will have to overpay for this lawn mowing. Plus, they're gonna like make my lawn bald.
Okay. But like basically, what I'm saying is that probably even within the last generation, I would say, like the older generation before us, and definitely the generation before them, it's like working rare, like fun was not part of the discussion, right?
No, not at all. Yeah.
It's like, well, work is one thing, fun is another thing, right? Like work's not supposed to be fun. Like you're supposed to be doing shit that you don't like. That's just normal. Whereas like these days for us, right, we're always trying to look for things that are worth their time. We're looking. We have this philosophy that we're basically that we need to find something that we like to do. And up until then, yeah, obviously we're gonna do like random stuff, but that's kind of the end goal, to find something that you can do that you like.
That you can kind of meld the two things. This is a very, in my opinion, I'll agree with you, very millennial kind of idea.
Yeah, it's a very millennial kind of idea. Where work has to have an element of happiness in it.
Well, that's also the transition, the shift, right? Because I think baby boomers, right, where they were the ones. Okay, what's after baby boomers? Sorry.
Generation
Gen X? Is it X?
Maybe. Yeah, that's
Xers?
it.
Okay, so yeah,
Gen X.
Xers were the last that were, we gotta get the money, you know what I mean? Like, house of the family, kind of thing, right? Overall, right? Into the millennials, where it's like, the world is changing. It's just it's more global, you know what I mean? Internet age, we were introduced to that, and then all hell broke loose. Now
Exactly, you basically take a bite of the forbidden fruit, where you learn that there are so many people out there who are doing what they love
exactly
for a living. And you're trying to find something like that as well.
And you feel like you're owed that. We deserve this.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of the same thing when it comes to relationships as well. Like at least for me, it's like, well, it's not worth my time unless it's perfect. You know what I mean? Whereas before it would be like, oh well, you just find someone you kind of like. I don't know how love and stuff works.
What is love?
Yeah, like what is love? Like when's the last time I actually saw a girl that wasn't Andrea or my mom? Like it's been a long time.
I don't know, G-Wiz, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like this philosophy, I assume, has changed quite a lot. Because I don't know, like wasn't it normal just to get married?
Work your 9 to 5 and have kids if you really wanted to do that. Sure.
Yeah, like kind of get married for the sake of getting married,
right,
rather than waiting for the perfect person in your life.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think that was boomers into some Gen Xers and this, right?
I personally kind of feel like my mentality of thinking things like that is kind of like an entitled way of looking at life. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I deserve this happiness. I deserve, to have fun at what I'm doing. I deserve to wake up in the morning of my own free will.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Without getting scared of being fired or something like that.
About getting what now?
Like without the fear of being fired.
Right.
Without forcing myself out of bed.
Right. Oh shit, I'm gonna be late. You're on the clock. You're always kind of watching the clock kind of thing. Sure.
Yeah, and you always have someone keeping you in check.
Yeah.
Basically, making you do things that you don't want to do.
So, speaking on this, and I feel based on the people that are in this car, that's a very strong model. I can speak for myself in saying, and obviously knowing what you do, and I feel like I've observed you enough yet, Ethan. I can say the same for you as well. I can speak for you in this. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. That nobody in here wants to be tied down by what somebody else is saying. You want to make your own way and have something to show and say I put your stamp on this, and I did this. I came from. You saw me here, and now I'm here. You know what I mean? And I did it, you know, myself for my sake, you know, kind of thing, right?
Is it what you're looking for, Yeti? Is that what you're looking for as well?
I just want to live a good life, man.
But what does that entail? What does that mean to you? What does that mean to you?
I don't know. I just want like weed my yard.
Oh, I was like, what?
My garden.
Just want to smoke weed?
And like walk my dog. I don't know. I just want to be, but money is important. The solution is go get a fucking job, and you don't have to love the job. And to that end, I've done a lot of jobs, some of them that I didn't love, you know. And maybe if I stuck around long enough, I might have loved some. If circumstances were different in others, I might have loved them. May have enjoyed them enough to continue sticking around. But so far, the answer remains elusive. I just know I feel compelled to, well, try and harness technology to some ends. But so far, it's been like, you know, shit. It's just, it's a money pit. So far, it's been a money pit.
Yeah. I mean, another way to look at that is an investment, right? Or that's kind of the way that you would kind of rationalize that.
Yeah, yeah. And I've talked about, like, sunk cost fallacy associated with this.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And the opportunity cost is pretty significant, especially if you have a degree. Or if you have a degree, your expectation is you go out into the workplace, you should be selling your time for a pretty good amount of money. You should be happy in America with whatever job it is. And like most degrees, then if you have like a technical background, you're not going to be looking at barista money. Which is nothing to say. It's not to say being a barista is bad. It just typically doesn't pay enough such that one hits that happy threshold in the States.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just slave labor.
Yes.
Like, just minimum wage work in general.
Service industry. Just
like a service industry.
Yeah, just...
It is basically just slavery, I feel. It's just like, you're tied to this work for not much, I feel, unless you're like a really good waitress or something.
Sure.
And like a popping restaurant.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, that's the thing, but not all waitress jobs are